Welcome back to the Hamilton Public Library. This is Linda, and today we're making mini twine pumpkins. You may have seen these all over the internet. They're these sweet pumpkins just made with jute twine and some embellishments. I'm going to show you how to make that just using twine. No hot glue and no wires. This will be a little bit easier and safer to make. You're going to need some embellishments, some jute twine, some ribbon, and a cinnamon stick. All the items here I purchased at the dollar store. So you're going to start with some jute twine, and you're going to use 3 fingers, and you're going to wrap it around your fingers 10 times. You're going to leave the beginning and end pieces of twine loose so you can use those to tie your bundles together. You're going to wrap the loose ends around in opposite directions. This helps you tie your bundle together and keep it together, basically. You don't want to not wrap them through because then you won't be able to tie the knots, and I'll show you what happens in the end if you don't do this little step. So you're just going to double knot each bundle and then snip off the ends. You'll need about 6 of these to make your pumpkin. So you can see I've made 2 others. We're going to make 3 more, and then we'll have enough to make our pumpkin. So again, you're going to wrap it around 3 fingers about 10 times. And then you're going to just snip off a little bit at the end so that you have some pieces to wrap through and tie into a knot. And if you wanted to make a bigger pumpkin, you can wrap the twine around your whole hand. I just find that they don't sit as nicely and have that nice round shape the bigger you go. So again, we're going to wrap around 3 fingers 10 times and tie it up. You can also use, I've seen people use floral wire to tie these bundles together. Or twist ties, you can do that as well. You kind of end up risking that you might see them in the pumpkin. And then you would also need to kind of glue your pieces together, or use a piece of twine like I do at the end of the video. So this is the last bundle that we are going to need. And it's up to you how many you want to make. If you want your pumpkin to look a little fuller, you could go with 7 or 8 bundles. You need to make it not too full because you want to be able to fluff each bundle a little bit and have, kind of that nice little rustic look. And I'm going to make 1 more bundle just to show you what happens if you don't wrap the ends through. You won't be able to tie it together and it just unravels. So here I'm just going to tie them without threading them through, and you can see that it comes undone. So it's important to wrap it around. The next thing you're going to need is a long piece of twine, about 6 inches to a foot. So we're going to fluff up the little bundles, and then we're going to tie them together with a long piece of twine. So once they're fluffed up, you're going to line up the knots. You don't want the knots to end up at the top of the pumpkin. You can see there that the knots are not visible. So we're just going to grab a cinnamon stick. You will want to tie the cinnamon stick at the same time that you tie the bundles because you won't be able to insert it later. So we're going to line up the knots all in one line. And then you're going to thread the long piece of twine through all of them. And this takes a bit of practice. You can see the first time that I do it, it doesn't work out. All the knots somehow end up at the top. So I have to undo it and then try again. And you could just turn the pumpkin upside down if you'd like. The cinnamon stick slides right, you know, up and down. You just can't insert it later, but you can slide it around. But I ended up undoing the knot and trying again. So you can see here I have it tied together, but all the knots ended up at the top somehow. Not sure how that happened, so I'm going to untie it and redo it. You can also use colored yarn for this craft. It doesn't have to be jute twine. As long as the yarn is a little thicker, you want it to be able to hold its shape. So here I am, I'm going to try lining them up again, and this time I'm standing them up, pulling the jute twine tight around the cinnamon stick, and then we'll tie 2 or 3 knots. So like I said, you could use colored yarn for this as well, the thicker ones that it stands up. You know, you could use orange or brown. And instead of a cinnamon stick, you can also use twigs from your garden. So there's lots of possibilities. I wouldn't use anything that's too thin, like baking twine. It won't hold its shape. So now here I'm just going to fluff the bundles all the way around the cinnamon stick so that it doesn't have too many gaps. But again, you don't want it to be too perfect. So you want it to look a little rustic. You know, you leave some spots empty. It looks really cute. So we're going to take a piece of ribbon now. This is fabric ribbon that I'm using today, but you can use the curling ribbon. You can use whatever you'd like. This is just what I happen to have on hand. So I'm going to make a simple little bow, and I'm going to use a piece of twine to tie the bow together. That way I can then tie it to the cinnamon stick. Again, eliminating the use of hot glue, because hot glue on, trying to put hot glue on twine and attaching things, you know, you run the risk of burning yourself. And if you want to do this with your kids or grandkids, then it just makes it a bit safer. So we're only going to use hot glue in the end to attach the embellishments. So here we are, we're going to just tie it to the cinnamon stick. This also makes it great so that if you want to switch out the ribbon next year, or, you know, add different ribbon, you can do that just by untying it and adding a new one. So now we're going to add embellishments. You can see here I have, you know, a hedgehog and squirrel, some leaves, acorns. So you can just get creative and try out different things. I think we're going to use the acorn, and we're going to glue that right to the cinnamon stick. And next, I think I'm going to add another little set of acorns just below. And there we are. We're almost done. Now you have your own sweet little twine pumpkin, and these are so easy to make. You can make a whole bunch and decorate your home. I hope you enjoyed the craft today, and I hope you check out the other videos I have on this channel. Bye for now.